Alright, Nick, this video is in response to the couple new ones you've made recently about the supposed Ground Zero mosque. Now, a number of people have discussed this with you, so I'm not going to repeat what they had to say. Here's just a couple of points I wanted to make about it. And I'm going to refer everybody to down in the crotch bar, where you will find a link to Byron Tulsa's absolutely phenomenal response to Nick. I don't think it's nothing like it. I don't think has ever been seen. It's great, and I highly recommend it to you. But I want to talk to you, Nick. So I want to try to explain this concept because you brought up the in one of your videos the Surah 47:4 about the infidels and cutting the neck, and you're trying to use this to indict the entire religion of Islam as one that will not tolerate any non-Islamic people in its ranks or nearby or anything like that. You use this as evidence. Now, one of the claims that you make is you claim that you've read the Koran. You made that claim a couple of times now, and I'm going to tell you something right now. I'm calling bullshit on that. You know why I know you haven't read the Koran? I absolutely know beyond all doubt that you haven't read the Koran, because there's no fucking pop-up version of the Koran out there, okay? There's not a pop-up book version of it, so therefore, you haven't read it. You haven't even read, again, it's been shown over and over again that you haven't even read your own Bible, okay? You claim to have read it. Unless in your world, reading something means, reading along with the pastor when he's doing those assorted verses in church or in Sunday school or whatever. If that's what you call reading the Bible, then maybe you have. I'm talking about starting from Genesis 1:1 and going all the way through Revelation. Reading the Bible like I have, like physical conservative have, like the vast majority of people who talk about the Bible actually have, except you, who has not. Again, you've demonstrated an incredible lack of knowledge of what's contained in the Bible for somebody who claims it to be, who believes it to be the inerrant and holy word of your Creator. So, I'm calling bullshit on that. But anyway, I want to try to explain in context Surah 47:4 to you, and the other verse. I'm not going to get into detail. I'm just going to get into detail on this because the same thing applies to all of them. And I'm going to try to explain this in a way that you can understand, okay? That even you will understand. Oh, fuck it. You know what? I'm just going to explain it to you. Forget. Okay, I thought the finger puppets would be a good idea. I don't think it's going to work out. So, now I'm going to read the Surah 47:4 in case you've forgotten. Surah 47:4. If you encounter in war those who disbelieve, you may strike their necks. If you take them captive, you may set them free or ransom them until the war ends. Okay? So, one of the things about that verse that you need to understand, and I'm going to try to keep this simple, is that it is referring to a specific incident in battle, meaning when they are battling, when they are fighting, and they are fighting unbelievers, which presumably would be anybody they would be fighting, they are here given the right to slay them in battle. They're saying it's not murder, it's not, it doesn't violate the prohibition of murder to slay somebody during war. Okay? It's not a general decree for every person of the faith all the time must be looking for infidels to strike their necks, as you seem to imply. Okay? Now, I want you to really think about that. I really, truly think about it. And by comparison, now, this is a comparison for you. I'm going to read from your book. Okay? Let's see here. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 13. Okay? Now listen carefully, Nick. I want you to listen to this, and I want you to tell me what you think this sounds like. What do you think this sounds like? Okay, let's go to Deuteronomy 13, verse... Let's see, which would be the best one here. Okay. I'll read the whole thing from chapter 6 on for a bit here. If anyone secretly entices you, even if it is your brother, your father's son, or your mother's son, or your own son or daughter, or the wife you embrace, or your most intimate friend, saying, "Let us go worship other gods," whom neither of you nor your ancestors have known, any of the gods of the people that are around you, whether near you or far away from you, from one end of the earth to the other. You must not yield or heed any such persons. Show them no pity or compassion, and do not shield them, but you shall surely kill them. Your own hand shall be first against them to execute them, and afterwards the hands of all the people. Stone them to death for trying to turn you away from the Lord your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt and out of the house of slavery. Then all of Israel shall hear and be afraid, and never again do such wickedness. If you hear it said about one of the towns that your Lord your God is giving you to live in, that scoundrels from among you have gone out and led the inhabitants of the town astray, saying, Let us go and worship other gods whom you have not known, then you shall inquire and make a thorough investigation. If the charge is established that such an abhorrent thing has been done among you, you shall put the inhabitants of that town to the sword, utterly destroying it and everything in it, even putting its livestock to the sword. You hear what that's saying, Nick? That's saying that unbelievers, people who don't believe, non-Jews, are to be executed, are to be sought out and executed, lest they lead the people of Israel astray. Okay? That is what you are accusing Surah 47 of saying. Your Bible actually does say, not referring to a specific incident. This is a general thing that the Hebrews, by the old law, were to do. Now, I know you'll say that was old law and that doesn't count and all this stuff, but the point is, Islamic people would say that Surah 47:4 is referring again to another time and another place, exactly for the same reasons you would make the claim for your in your Bible. So I want you to really think about that. And one more thing before I'm going to end this here. I want to make this clear. You made a comment in, I think it was the first video you made about Islam, where you said that when 9/11 happened, that I don't know if it was a friend or someone you knew was celebrating and saying death to America and America is evil and laughing about the 9/11 attacks. You said that an Islamic person you knew was doing that. You know what I'm saying about that, Nick? You're a fucking liar. That's bullshit, 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 okay? I was actually living in Lafayette, Louisiana when 9/11 happened, and I was going to graduate school. There was a huge number of Islamic students and Hindu students and Sikh students, a lot of students from non-U.S., especially of those Middle Eastern and Asian religions. Lots of them. Lots. And the school recommended that they not come to school after 9/11 because there was widespread violence against people, even people who weren't Muslim, people who, Hindus or Sikhs, people that might be mistaken for Muslims, were being attacked. Nobody, the Muslims that I knew in graduate school that came to school against this warning, because they're proud, of their belief systems, most of them were covering themselves. They had American flag pins and yellow ribbons and were waving the flag louder than anybody else we knew because it was a safety issue. All right? Nobody. No Muslim. Even people who maybe even thought that it was a good thing. They weren't saying it out loud. So you saying that you would have been 12 when 9/11 happened? You're telling me that some 12-year-old in Sapulpa, Oklahoma was yelling death to America? You're such a fucking liar, okay? Okay, and now one more thing too. There's a really great quote from some guy. I wish I didn't write it down, unfortunately, and I don't want to stop and go find it. But the quote was something about that. After careful study, I've concluded that Islam is a religion of peace. After reading the Koran, I've read the Koran and conclude that Islam is a religion of peace. You know who said that, Nick? Glen fucking Beck, you asshole. Glen Beck, your fucking spiritual leader, read the Koran and concluded that Islam was a religion of peace. Okay? It's an Inconvenient Book. Why don't you check it out? So, anyway, that's all I have. It's amazing, the hole that you're digging yourself into. You've got, how many people now are lined up just begging you, asking you, challenging you to debate, discussion that you're completely ignoring because, like Byron Tulsa said in his awesome video, you're a fucking pussy, Nick.